The real problem that business owners are facing right now, and really how to fix it. I think for a lot of us out there, when we set up a business, we have that idea of what we want when we have a business, what the goal's going to be. You got that pen and paper, you scribbled it down on the napkin. Oh, if we just do X and we do Y, we're going to make so much money. And there you are a few years later. The bank balance isn't showing you what you want. And I want to talk to you today about founders, and to be frank, anyone who's running a business like that could be doing better. Now, for whatever reason, you're stuck. Now, if you've got a business that's got a two-stage process, appointment setting, closing, whether that's coming in from organic or from paid, this will probably help you. And I want to break down today some of the real problems that business owners are facing, because no one wants to talk about a lot of this stuff. And more importantly, the practical and actionable steps that sometimes are pretty simple to take them from where you are now into that next stage. Now, this isn't theory. I'm not someone who believes in the hype. This is that real world stuff that we've seen working with hundreds of businesses, whether they're solar, whether it's trade, whether it's coaching, whether it's agencies, whether it's service-based companies, you name it. It's all the same. So let's get on to it. And I want to really give you a bit of an idea on how you can do this. So let's break this down initially on, probably should stick this onto me. The silent struggle that a lot of business owners face. Because a lot of this we want to think about almost, how can I explain it in the best way? Business owners never want to admit a lot of this stuff out loud. You're probably working harder now than you ever have, but you're not seeing the results. Well, not what you expected. You thought by this point, with all this effort that you'd be putting in, you'd be far further down the path than you would be now. You're likely thinking you wish you'd be making, or you thought you'd be making more money. You probably thought that you'd feel more in control. You probably thought that, completely frank, you'd be closing more deals. But the lack of predictable months that you're seeing right now, and the fear that you feel about not having the growth that you want, is also combined by a number of factors. It's combined by the fact that you're stressed, you're chasing, you're reacting, you're overwhelmed, and your business feels like it's running you more than you running the business. And for the most part, you genuinely feel like you're doing everything that you can to the skill level that you've got, the ability that you've got. You've probably started buying the leads, you're taking appointments, you're sending out quotes, you're following up, you're trying to close deals, you're working late, you're starting early, maybe even working weekends. Maybe you've got a team and you're trying to motivate them. You're trying to hold everything together. Yet the numbers, they don't reflect the effort that you're making. Does that sound a little bit familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Every single time we talk to a business and I work with, they go through a lot of this. And today I want to show you exactly why this happens and give you some simple solutions that you can really put into it to fix. Now, the big thing we always hear, and you see a lot on social media now, I bet you've seen this too, you're not seeing as much of everyone talking about, we just need more leads. And for the last 4 years, we've been talking about the fact it's not about more leads. It's the biggest lie people tell themselves, and this is why everyone's replicating what we've done. It's actually about having more conversations that convert into clients. It's about the conversions of the leads, not just about getting more leads in the door. Because if you get 30 leads now and I give you 60, you've got to work twice as hard to go through to get the same results. But if you can convert twice as much, you're going to be in a far better place. And a lot of people have sold themselves for years on this. We just need more leads. If we had more opportunities, we'd be flying. Our marketing agency was just not delivering. They're just no good. Their leads aren't good. We need better quality people. We need more leads. But here's the truth. Lead quantity isn't always the big issue. Lead conversion is. Let me say that again. You don't have a lead problem. You're actually looking at, you have a conversion system problem. Because you think about it like this. If I gave you your exact leads that you get now, and I called them, do you think I'd be able to get more? Do you think anyone could get more? What would they close? Would they close 2%, 3%, 2x, 3x more with the same volume? Now that should scare you a bit, but it also should excite you, because it means that your growth is not dependent on just spending more. It's not dependent on just working harder. Not just a case of bolting more people into your business. It's actually about stopping yourself from burning out. Your growth is dependent on fixing the system, your lead, appointment, conversation, and that sale. And that brings us on to that second problem most of you aren't thinking about, is you don't have consistent appointment setting. Now, most business owners treat the appointment setting side like it's some sort of magical lottery, where some days it works, some days it doesn't. Some days leads show up, sometimes they ghost. Some are red hot leads, and some disappear. And because you don't have a predictable and repeatable system and structure in place for responding, for qualifying, for setting appointments, for sitting appointments, for increasing show-ups, for creating early buy-in, your pipeline will feel chaotic. If you want a successful business, the first conversion you must master is the lead to appointment. If you can't reliably turn leads into consistent appointments, you're never going to scale. And here's the fix. I'm going to give you just a couple of simple things. By the way, if you want to go and find out more about this, you can just go to tusta.co.uk, tusta.co.uk, and there's an 8-minute video that will break you down more on this. But I want you to start doing a couple of things. One, what's your response time? And could it be faster? Do you have immediate automations? Do you have videos? Do you have text? Do you have emails going out? Or have you got some 1985 plan behind this? When I say to you about asking better qualified questions, are you just qualifying them for you, or are you qualifying yourself for them? You want to be at the stage now that you're actually having the right conversations with people. Your goal should be building curiosity, not building pressure. Give them a clear reason to show up. You need to send the reminders in that actually matter. You need to use pre-framed videos. You need to create emotional buy-in early, and when you fix the appointments, that will be doubling what you're doing without spending a penny more. Because those people that contacted you, those people that came into your pipeline that you didn't help, you let them down. And this is why problem number 3. Your conversations aren't creating a buy-in by the person. And this is the brutal truth. Most people, you just talk too much. Now, I talk too much on this video because I'm the only one here. But if you looked at the stats that we see from the talking versus listening, the talking for me versus the talking of a prospect, you'd see a very big difference in probably your stats. Most people are asking the wrong questions. Most people are trying to sell the client. You're explaining and you're educating and you're dumping all this information on them. You're trying to prove your value to these people. But here's the thing, people don't buy what you say. People buy because of what they feel inside. They'll buy when they trust you, or they trust you for getting the result. They need to feel really understood. They really do. They need to believe in the outcome. They need to believe in themselves that better is possible. They believe in making a smart decision. This means that your questions matter more than your pitch. And a good conversation removes resistance. And a great conversation really builds momentum. And a world-class conversation eliminates objections before they happen. And here's some of the fixes I want you to put in. Literally, you can write these down and start putting them in today. I want you to try and stop talking for the first 10 minutes. And I don't mean don't speak at all, but it should all be about them. You should be asking layered questions. You should be going 3 levels deeper in every conversation. You should be focusing on the emotion behind the problem, not just talking about the problem. You want to be able to find the real motive that holds them back. You need to build the alignment, not pressure them. Qualify whether they're even ready to move forward, even if they wanted to. And when you change the conversation, you're going to change the conversion. Next up, the big problem you're going to have, you're not following up correctly. And don't follow people up by saying, I'm just following up. I want you to think about it like this. Follow-up is where most business owners lose the most amount of money. You send one text, you send one email, just checking in, then you move on. And meanwhile, the companies we work with are generating some of these 50 grand extra in the first 7 days because they're following up correctly. Because following up isn't checking in. It isn't, have you made a decision yet? It isn't begging for business. Follow-up is psychology, it's timing, it's momentum, it's authority and it's value. It's about relevance, it's about insight, it's about confidence. And if you want a quick win today, revisit every single lead you have from the last 60 to 90 days. Get them on the phone, pick up the phone and have a conversation. Now, if you start asking emotional, not logical questions, you'll be shocked how many of these deals will come back to life. And this brings you into section 6. Section 6 is simply this. You're blaming the wrong things, and this will hurt. Now, most business owners blame the leads. They blame the agency, the company, or whatever it is. They blame the team. My nose is itching. They blame the market and the industry's changed. They're going to blame the price. They'll blame the customer in some crazy instances. Maybe they're even blaming their industry. Sometimes right now you might be blaming the time of year. But it's almost never the system. And if there's no system, everything becomes a guess. Everything becomes emotional. Everything becomes reactive. Everything becomes stressful. And this is the fix. Stop chasing fixes. Start building systems. Start turning your chaos into clarity. Because if you start turning your chaos into clarity and your systems turn conversations into clients, everything becomes easier. You want to be at a stage that systems turn effort into revenue. So, how can you do all this? It's all well and good, Dave, you saying all this, but what can I do? What's my action plan? Well, if you want to start fixing your business, starting today, here's a 3-step plan for you to be able to go off and do it. Number 1, I want you to audit your numbers. Write this down. What percentage of your leads turned into appointments? What percentage of your leads showed up? What percentage of your leads converted into sales? These simple 3 numbers will tell you more about your business than any marketing agent, any CRM, any guru. Next up, step 2, fix the conversation. Stop trying to sell. Start trying to understand and start asking better questions, deeper questions. I want you to start finding the emotional drivers. Shift from what do you want to why does this matter to you? When people feel like they're understood, they start saying yes far more. And this moves you into step 3. I want you to start thinking about following up more professionally. Your follow-up's probably weak. When you start doing this, start sending some personal videos, start picking up the phone, start making sure you have a degree of a pattern interrupt on the start of that call. Start having value-based messages, value-based. Start sending reminder questions, start asking emotional nudges. Remember, follow-up is not annoying. Follow-up is actually caring. Follow-up is leadership. And I want you to remember this. You are not failing. You're not behind. And you're not the problem, although it might feel like it. You're simply missing the structures that you've got. Let's say you're a solar company now and you trained for years to be an electrician, you moved into solar, but you never trained on sales and selling. Why? You wouldn't have just started wiring people's houses up as an electrician. So why do you do that for the thing that drives revenue in your business? Because you're simply missing the structure that turns the effort into those consistent results. Now, every single thing out there is fixable. And once you fix your appointment setting, conversations, follow-up, your whole business is going to change. Now you bolt into it some objection prevention, some offer delivery. The revenue is going to become predictable. Your stress is going to stop, well, drop at least. Your confidence is going to rise, and your business becomes exciting again. If you got value from this video, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a follow, give it a comment. Because we want to start sharing more practical and actionable videos just like this. If you want to know more, genuinely, just go and watch the other video. www.tusta.co.uk. Watch the video, get in touch, let me know what you think.